and hello again, dear ones. Reverend Robert with you here on Wednesday afternoon, 3 p.m. on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it is time for our midweek pick-me-up. Now, if this is your first time with us, welcome. So grateful you're here. If this is your first time with us, the way it works is it's 2 prayers, 2 songs, and a talk in between. And we give people just a brief moment to come into the room here before we get started with that first prayer. So I got a couple of pieces of music for you today that I really want to use to provide that lift me up, that pick me up, because I tell you, I need it. It's been a couple of days here in the Arvada, Colorado neighborhood. If you haven't been following the news or hear the news, I'm not going into it here. But just say there's some healing and some grieving and a whole bunch of heaviness going on around in our neighborhood in the last couple of days. So we're going to lift up some of that. We're going to pray some of that into a deeper awareness of the oneness, and we're going to be with some of that too. So if you're with me and you're feeling solid about it, let's head into prayer. Let's take a moment to come to that oneness, to let go of the hustle and the bustle of the day, to let go of all the worry and anything that may have come from this day. To join in a deep, deep recognition that there truly is only one life, one love, one source, one supply, one infinite wellspring of everything. And I know that oneness is revealing itself as my life perfectly, whole, complete, nothing missing, nothing absent. There's a oneness and an everything. And I am part of that. And I know each one that is here in consciousness, whether in this direct moment or watching a rebroadcast, each one part of the revealing oneness of everything, of life, of love, of liberty, of truth, of abundance and prosperity and amazingness and everythingness. And so on this day, I set aside everything that took to be here, to come to this experience. I set all that aside so I may come to know the one and experience a greater sense of joy. So I may come to experience a greater sense of energetic vibration of joy and happiness and love. Today we're going to start that with a soulful sharing of start that with a deep, deep experience of absolute truth. I invite you to join with me in this experience of love and light, prosperity, and let the words of the amazing Michael Bernard Beckwith fill our hearts and our souls.
Take a breath right here. Take a breath, take a holy breath here, right here. Take a breath right here. Take a breath, take a holy breath right here. Take a breath, take a holy breath here, right here. Take a breath, take a holy breath here, right here. Take a breath, take a holy breath here, right here. Take a breath, take a holy breath right here. Take a breath, take a holy breath here, right here. Take a breath, take a holy breath here, right here. Take a breath, take a holy breath right here. As we're lifted up into the spiritual domain, we begin to see a little bit differently. There's a broadcast going on. This broadcast comes from within you. There's a song singing in you. There is something within you that wants to express. There is something within you that wants to come forward. You are anointed and appointed by the Spirit as the image and likeness of divine and ultimate reality. As we bank in that domain, we bring heaven to earth as a spiritual practice. Wake up and say to yourself, I'm taking an adventure in paradise. And guess what? I'm taking you with me. I'm activating my spiritual stimulus package. I'm taking an adventure in paradise. Your stimulus package begins with an awareness that you're sourced and fueled and funded by a renewable resource which is within you. It never runs out. It is your essence. It's your life. Your divine spiritual stimulus package is activating the gifts of divinity within you. That you may express them. You will express them beyond your wildest imagination, and joy breaks out all over. It's the real source. Feel it in your bones. Take a holy breath and say to yourself, I'm taking an adventure in paradise. And guess what? I'm taking you with me. I'm activating my spiritual stimulus package. I'm taking an adventure in paradise. In order to have this stimulus package, stop looking outside for help. Become still and listen. Listen with that inner ear. Life is everywhere. Joy is everywhere. Love is everywhere. Why we see that? Feel it in your bones. Come on, I'm taking an adventure in paradise. And guess what? I'm taking you with me. I'm activating my spiritual stimulus package. I'm taking an adventure in paradise. I'm taking an adventure in paradise. And guess what? I'm taking you with me. I'm activating my spiritual stimulus package. I'm taking an adventure in paradise. I'm taking an adventure in paradise.
Did you catch it, folks? Yeah, that was Brother Diego. If you looked, if you know what you're looking for, our dear brother Diego in that video, along with Michael Bernard Beckwith and the whole Agape crowd. And I use that song to remind me that no matter what's going on around me, no matter what it may appear like out in the world, that there is a power for good that's emerging and that is revealing itself. And we are on a spiritual journey, all of us together. We're making it up as we go along, first and foremost, right? We know that. But secondly, it's an adventure to creating, to revealing, to recognizing the paradise that is all around us. Because we always have within us what it takes to move and to be and to boogie and to dance. Even if the physical body doesn't want to move, the mental body dances. And I know more than a few people that it would appear their physical body is unable to dance, but their mental body is dancing right along. We're activating that stimulus package within us. We're activating that sense of knowing that no matter what it may look like, there is another path, there is a road forward, there is an opportunity to step forward, to step into something different. And different isn't always dangerous. Different isn't always, doesn't need to be scary. What if different is what propels us into a greater expression of love? Over the last several weeks or so, in conversations with my dear beloved Laura and other colleagues and friends, I've come to a very, very simple formula. Love plus service. That's pretty much it. Love plus service. Now, we put that on a t-shirt through a line underneath and put the word money underneath it. So it's love plus service is greater than money, which is a great t-shirt. If you want to know where to get one, let me know. Get you in touch with that. But that's not what it's about. It's not about the t-shirt. It's about coming to a place in ourselves where we can love beyond all else. And we can let that love be the point of our service. I tell you, in this point in my life, I so love the world that I want to see a world completely free of gun-based violence. And especially in the United States, random gun violence. And I so love the world that is what I wish to see. And I am going to let that find the way. I don't know yet, but I'm going to find the way to let that be a place where I can serve. Because this week, I can't say that I hadn't reached a point before this, but I reached a whole new level of enough is enough this week. And it isn't that speaking isn't enough, and it isn't that consciousness isn't enough and consciousness work. It is that I am being absolutely inspired to take action in regard to this issue, to this thing in life. Now, I don't want to get into the particulars and bring us into that heavy vibe, man, right? Because this is about each one of us finding that as well. This is about each one of us finding that place where we can say, yeah, here too I can serve. This is where I'm called to serve. This is where my great love for the world meets the world's great need. And we so love the world. And we so love the world that we meet that great need. That is the everything. Is it not? That is the everything. We so love the world that we give of all we are in service to something greater, to a greater vision. Now, I'm not saying we all have, this is not throw away our lives and dedicate ourselves to being an activist and spending the next 20 years on the streets pounding a drum or signing signatures or any of the ways that some people want us to think that has to look. Inspired action does not necessarily mean full time. It can be in the spaces of your life. It can be in the weekends of your life, in the evenings of your life. It can be once a month. It can be once a quarter. But what I know is I'm being called to something greater. And if this one experience of God is being called to something greater, then there are countless experiences of God being called to something greater in the same regard. And you may be one of those. I'd have to believe you are in some way. Maybe not the same ways I am, but I have to believe you are in some ways. Being called to that greatness, to an adventure in paradise, to a place where we recognize that no matter what it is that's coming our way, we have the ability to create a paradise. First in consciousness and then in form. First in consciousness and in form. It means inspired action. It means getting up and doing what it's going to take to do the things we're going to do. And I will share with you this here, part of the New Thought Media Network. We are working to do things out in the community, greater Denver community. And you're going to hear, I know I've teased this a few times, but we're getting closer and closer to some real dates and some real commitments. That this is what we're boom, boom, and making things happen in a way where we can support a vision of a world that works for everyone, a vision where everyone knows they have within them the power to create a spiritually magnificent life, a world where everyone knows there's enough food and enough shelter and enough clothing and enough warmth and enough of everything for all of us to express our divinity, our magnificence. And I want you to know that all comes It all comes from a deep, deep consciousness, a consciousness of knowing that we are all supported, that there is enough. It comes from not just me and not just you, but so many people across this planet that have been working for so long to embody that consciousness of enoughness. That now we have the ability to demonstrate out of seemingly nothing everything that's necessary. Remember that old thing, we the unwilling have done for the ungrateful so much for so long that we're now capable of doing anything with absolutely nothing at all? We've always been capable of doing anything with absolutely nothing at all. Now we just get to do it intentionally. And who cares if they're ungrateful or unwilling or whatever, or blah, 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 blah. We have the power to create anything out of nothing. And where there was nothing, there shall be a kingdom of love, of paradise. Before I get into that prayer work for the evening, before we get to that, I want to share a little more, because each week, this really is nothing more than a reminder. It's nothing more, while I cue up the next song. Each week, it's nothing more than me finding a reminder that I believe will touch you, and that will inspire you, and that will remind you of your inherent divinity, of the power and the presence and the wisdom and the intelligence and everything that is within you to create the life you truly desire. Before I do get into that, I want to give a shout out to our friend, Rev Skip. Love is love. There it is. Skip the whole thing. Love is love is love. What a great looking shirt, huh? Part of Rev Skip's Pride line for the month of June. Whole series of t-shirts. I got mine. Let me know if you want to get one. I'll help you get one. In the meantime, what I believe, and I know it's been true for me, and I'm not happy about it, but I know it's been true for me. There have been times when I just couldn't believe that I had it within me to do the big thing that was in front of me, to do the thing I was obviously being called to do. And along the way, a great, great dear mentor helped me to see the number one, there's no such thing as something too big for God. And number two, God's got your back. Many years later, dipping from the same well we were in earlier, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith spoke to that same idea. Who loves you, baby?
This love is always shining, always shining. This love is always shining, always shining. This love is always shining, always shining. Invite the awareness of how deeply you're loved. You can begin to do that by just finding one or two people in your life that you know, regardless of what's going on in your life, they got your back. Like the rays of the sun, regardless of clouds of doubt, this love is always shining, always shining. And then, as you use that as a springboard, you begin to ask yourself, who made you in his own image and likeness? Who's given every quality personality and named it you in a unique way of configuration. Stop trying to fix yourself. Start to see yourself. Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Baby. Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? There is a presence of love that is seeking to express itself through you. Self-love and appreciation is the beginning step of allowing that which does not belong to be uncovered, dissolved, and evaporated in the sunlight of God's love. And it takes back the past, rolls it up, and dissolves it into nothingness. And the nowness of this moment breaks free. Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Baby. Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who's got your back? Who loves you, baby? Who loves you, baby? Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Take a breath here. Every single day, take time out and just begin to see yourself. There is a presence of love that is seeking to express itself through you. But it can only come through the openness that you're providing it. From stopping the mental chatter about what's wrong, from stopping the mental chatter about what's not complete. It has nothing to do with accomplishment. Nothing to do with the merit or demerit system. It is simply the love of God rushing to that place called you. And then if you allow yourself to hang there for a little while, you begin to walk in the awareness that you're divinely supported, maintained and sustained by all of life. Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Baby. Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Baby. Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Baby. Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby? Who loves you, baby? Who's got your back? Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you, baby?
With MailChimp's marketing smarts, you get a whole lot of
In that oneness, we are each revealing something different, something unique, something magnificent. Oh, and so I enjoy the playfulness of it. I enjoy the mystery of it. I enjoy the weirdness of it and the wonderfulness of it. And I know that it is all God. It must all somehow be good, even when I don't see it, even when I can't feel it. And so I do what I do to move myself in consciousness into a place of being open and receptive to that deep, deep knowing that God's got my back. God's got your back. God's got our back. For we are the love and the light made manifest. We are the truth taking form. And that is good. And that is great. And that is grand. And that is glorious. And I lift that up in complete faith, knowing all is well and all is complete. And so it is. So it is. Thank you, dear ones. Thank you for being with us here this afternoon. Midweek pick me up here on the New Thought Media Network. Again, big shout out to our brother Diego, who's in that first video with Dr. Michael there and all the whole Agape crowd. And thank you to the creative power that is God expressing through and as Reverend Michael and the Agape organization. They bring great creativity forward and are an inspiration to what we're doing here as well. So thank you for that to them. And thank you for each and every one of you that's making this all possible and supporting this ministry through your financial gifts, your tithes, your offerings, and your contributions. It all goes a long, long way to make sure we can continue to find ways to bring this message and this powerful philosophy of New Thought forward into the world. Helping more and more people, opening doors for more and more people to enter in and have their own experience of the divine. I'm Reverend Robert. I'm out of here for now. I love you. Until next time, peace and blessings. We'll be back with evening prayers. Someone will. I don't think it's me, but someone will be 8:15 p.m. tonight right here on the New Thought Media Network. Until then, peace and blessings. Bye now.